So we're back, after a lovely holiday season. I hope you're all well. Now that we have a new year of updates to look forward to, I am very excited to see what's coming to Sea of Thieves in 2022. We have 4 seasons to look forward to, and like last year, I'll go through things that are likely to be coming, unlikely but possible, and absolutely impossible stuff. Before we start, right now, answer in the comments, what do you think is coming to Sea of Thieves, and what do you want to see the most in 2022? Let's see if it lines up with my predictions. So let's start with some obvious stuff. I think Season 6 will contain some Flameheart Tall Tales, and I'm gonna say it, Captaincy. I'm sure of it. This year, guys, for sure, just like I predicted last time. If you throw enough crap at the wall, it will stick, right? I do believe it will be coming soon, as early as Season 6, and I thought I'd just drop it in there. I think this will include ship naming, ownership, extra customization, and crew commendations. You guys know the score already. I've spoken about it in depth, so I won't say any more. As for the Flameheart Tall Tales, I think we'll get a couple in Season 6, and then even more in Season 8, possibly 5, which will round up its story. I don't think he'll be killed or defeated, but will transition into a different state, such as the leader of the Reapers faction. We'll get the culmination of the Sunken Kingdom, some ancient stuff, and maybe a proper Captain tease. I don't think we'll see the Captain reveal this year, I think that's going to be a 2023 thing. In the same vein, it will be highly likely that the Reapers will be getting an update. Be that a new legend tier, such as Reaper Legend, or maybe a hideout underneath the hideout. Sounds weird to say that actually. This will include new cosmetics and possibly even a new curse. I'm sure this will tie into Flameheart's story, but I don't expect it to be until Season 7 at the earliest. Speaking of Pirate Legend updates, it's way overdue and I would expect this soon. We had the tease of the return to Shores of Gold, which didn't come into fruition last year, so it's basically confirmed to be coming in 2022. Hopefully this will be more than just a voyage, but joined with Captaincy too. Another thing I'm confident on is that the level cap for all factions will be increased, aside from the Hunter's Call and Sea Dogs, with the main factions going up to 100. I would be chuffed about this, as we would get a nice number of new cosmetics to boot to go along with this increase. Of course, we'll be getting 12 or so Emporium updates, 4 Plunder Passes and 4 Season Passes, that's a given, along with some Emissary rewards, which we have the Athena's Glory set to finish and the weapon sets to finish for the other factions. Something I am also confident that will be coming are new tools and weapons. I don't mean this in the sense of another starting weapon, but there will be some tool like a grapple shot or the Trident of Dark Tides being added to further spice up the sandbox. We've also had a new world event each year, so why not have a new one in 2022? I would expect this towards the end of the year as a neat little bow on top. This will be more akin to Ashen Winds or Ghost Fleets rather than Fort of Fortune, with new encounters with Phantoms this time. We already have the Skeleton Fort, the Treasuries, so Phantoms make sense. Golden Sands is 100% going to be like the Fort of the Damned and Reaper's hideout, with grey green smog covering it. I would even go as far as saying the inhabitants will become Skellies or Phantoms to make it really feel different. Think of this as a Flameheart themed outpost. Lastly, and I'm very sure this is going to be a thing, a fully fledged Sea of the Damned map expansion. This will be accessed by Pirate Legends only though, and be done through the portals. These portals are obviously going to be used for more than a pirate's life. No way would Rare create a mechanic for 2 Tall Tales. I think we'll use it to visit some Flameheart memories too, and some nice new islands. Let's move on to some likely stuff, but this isn't guaranteed. I'm going to start with some Hunter's Call stuff. This could be in the form of voyages, new animals to hunt, or new commendations, maybe even some sort of emissary. It seems 2020 and the start of 21 was expanding the base factions, and I think the pattern will extend to Athena, Reapers, and the Hunter's Call. I'll touch on Sea Dogs soon though. But yeah, it makes sense to flesh out the current factions rather than include a new one. Although I think they should have done this with the Sunken Kingdom just to make it a bit more replayable. But that's besides the point. I think we'll also be getting new crossovers, and Rare seemed to hint this in the last podcast. I think we'll be getting more Pirates of the Caribbean cosmetics, but no real story until next summer with Jack Sparrow and co. I would be extremely surprised if they were involved in the Flameheart stuff, but I could be wrong. What I reckon is that we'll get some Monkey Island stuff, cosmetics too, and maybe a few more nods to things like the Goonies. In what capacity can vary, but don't be surprised when we get more crossovers. We'll likely get some small server improvements, but expect these to regress as the updates go on. What I'm saying is, don't expect hit reg and rubber banding to be fixed. Events will likely continue, although I believe we'll be getting better events, as Rare knows most people aren't huge fans of the current system. Grogmanay was a step in the right direction, so let's hope they continue to improve. I think we'll likely see more pet types too in the Emporium, and I'm not talking about cursed pets. I think we'll get some new species such as goldfish, crabs and rabbits. I personally would really like guinea pigs and have seen some people request hippos, so let's see if that comes to fruition. I can see Rare doing this to spice things up, just like they did with the dogs in 2020. This prediction is one I'm less confident about, but I reckon doubloons will get a new use, be it as an alternative currency for certain cosmetics or a whole new function. I mean, we get them in every season pass, yet we never get cosmetics that require them, just certain event voyages, which is definitely strange to me. Expect new shanties and maybe a new instrument. I did predict new ones for 2021 and we ended up with 4 new ones. I also predicted we'd get the horn and fiddle, which didn't come true, so maybe it's time for either of those instruments to come. I do think we'll get a UI overhaul which will affect the progression menus, the cosmetic menus, and will probably even include presets. I'm crossing my fingers for this one. I would love this, most of you would by the sounds of it, I just hope Rare are planning it too. It would make sense for them to overhaul it, granted all the requests they've had. Moreover, it's possible we get some more passive animals and NPCs to make the world a bit more lively. Think more ocean and land life, and a few pirates dotted around the outposts. I certainly think 2022 is more up in the air with most things, although based on the teasers we had, it seems like it's mainly going to focus on Flameheart and his son. In that case, we should be getting a skeleton curse after all this time, which is hinted at in these teasers, so there's a relatively high chance this is happening. Now let's move on to the things that won't be happening, and I'll eat my hat if any of these do happen. Essentially, there won't be any updates to Arena unless they do a bug fix for the chest beacon. Rare's made it clear they're done with Arena and any updates for it. It sucks as I'm doing my Sea Dog grind, but the game mode isn't anywhere near as good as Adventure. Some have speculated Sea Dogs will come to Adventure, but I can't see how that would work, nor if it's a good idea, as it wouldn't work with many of the commendations and cheapen them if they were to be changed. I think Arena should be left as is, but eventually Rare will scrap it based on the minute player count. Second on the list is a new ship type, particularly a larger ship. Season 4 and its hit reg and server issues have shown that the game cannot handle much more. A larger ship will simply never come to Sea of Thieves even if old gen consoles are dropped. The servers cannot handle it and they barely work with more than a few galleons on them. It's a sad revelation, but I think it's time to put it to bed, at least as a player controlled ship. Similarly, don't expect Rare to drop support for the Xbox One this year, as the Series X's are still harder to get than rocking horse shit. The silicone shortage is still a thing, and so is their ability to manufacture new consoles. It's a shame as games will inevitably suffer for it going forward, but it can't be helped if people can't buy new consoles. So expect support to continue until 2023 at least. Hit reg won't be fixed in 2022, so let's just get that out of the way now. Nothing more to say on this one, it's just the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. That's not a patch on Rare, you guys know the score already. PvE only servers will not be coming in 2022 or ever as it stands at the moment, so asking for them would be a waste of time. I understand the need, but don't get your hopes up if you're one of those people that have been asking for them. On a similar note, custom servers have been in the pipeline for a while, with partners having access to them, although they aren't slated for public release anytime soon. I would be shocked if these came out this year, which is a shame as they can be useful for content creation and custom games. On the topic of server stability, an expansion to the overworld outside of a new island or two isn't going to be happening for the same reason as the new ship type. The servers won't be able to handle the strain. Some have speculated that the south of the Ancient Isles will be a new area as the map borders were changed with A Pirate's Life, but I just can't see it given the server performance. In summary, I expect a small Season 6 with a couple new Tall Tales and Captaincy, a medium-sized stopgap in Season 7 with a Reaper expansion and Athena expansion as the main content, a huge expansion for Season 8 with new Tall Tales and the Sea of the Damned, and Season 9 as a bigger quality of life update than Season 5 with a new world event too. I'd be extremely surprised if we get Season 10 this year, as I expect Rare to have a couple of long seasons to ensure we only get 4. Season 6 isn't due until March, unless it's brought forward, and another 5 seasons will only be feasible if all of them are 10 weeks, and even then it's a stretch. So that gives you a general idea of how much content to expect in 2022. I have to say, I'm much more excited about 2022 and you guys should be too. I genuinely think it will top 2021 in almost every way, and I'll explain that in my next video where I'll review 2021 as a whole year for Sea of Thieves. Joni said it was going to be the biggest year, so let's assess that quote. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and drop a like. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.